the last video lesson from our GCP training. We had quite a journey on this training, and I want to finish by giving you a bonus lesson. A lesson who will bring some light in how are classified clinical trials and where we should start and where we should finish, or maybe we should continue the research for new and old drugs. So, I will go to this lesson with one of my personal requests when I need to take a medicine when I'm ill, or when I have to recommend as a physician to one of my patients a medicine for his or her illness. So, what I want to know about the medicine that I use. First, I want to know that it's safe. So, I will take a medicine who is safe for me and for my patient. Second, it's good that it's safe, but is this medicine efficacy? Have efficacy is getting the things done and have the desired effect when I take this medicine? This will be a second question. Okay, so I saw until now that I have demand to see if the medicine is safe and has efficacy, but I want something more. What could be? So I want to know that I have safety and efficacy confirmed to a large number of patients or by a large number of colleagues, fellow doctors who recommend this medicine. And what I want to know as a doctor and also as a ill patient, I want to know that this medicine passed the test of time. I say let's writing on this board here and we'll discuss one by one. So on the first point we say that we want to have a safe medicine. So on number one, it's safety. Safety first. On the second part, I want to know that this product have the desired effect. So I want to know that has efficacy. Correct? Then what I want more? Well, I want to know that the safety and efficacy is confirmed. So on the third place, I need safe and efficacy confirmation. Okay. And the last point that I want is to know that my medicine passed the test of time. So I'll write here the fourth point. Please don't mind my handwriting. I'm a doctor, so I cannot possibly write in a very calligraphic way. So maybe you can ask me, okay, you tell us what do you want from your medicine, but what these have in common with the clinical trials? Actually, everything. And I will show you why. I doodle something before I start this training here, and I'll be here if I find it. So, clinical trials are classified in 4 phases. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, and Phase 4. Each one of them represents what I want as a patient and as a doctor from medicine. So I'm sure that you already know what I want to write here. On Phase 1, clinical trials study how safe are the medicines. So on the Phase 1, we are testing the drug for safety. Then, if the drug is safe, we'll go on the Phase 2 when we are doing all the tests to see the drug efficacy. Okay, so we see that our investigational product is safe and has efficacy, but we want to confirm this to a bigger number of subjects. So we are going with our investigational product to Phase 3, and we conduct safety and efficacy confirmatory study, where we confirm safe and efficacy confirmation. Well, the good news is after we verify the safety, we establish that the drug is efficient, and we confirm the safety and the efficacy in a large patient population, the drug will be approved by the authorities to be marketed, to be on the market, to be sold in pharmacy. But I want more. After the drug is on the market, I want to see that this new medicine will become old and will pass the test of time. So on Phase 4 we are doing the test of time for our medicine. Well, I hope now it's a little bit more clear how and why we are doing clinical trials and why they are divided in Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, and Phase 4. And I will go a little bit deeper with the information. Well, you know, clinical trials or studies represent the medical research on human subjects. And we already agree that we have 4 classes, 4 categories. But there is a more recent classification called Phase 0. Well, Phase 0 is not a clinical trial per se. Phase 0 is a process, it's a study where we are looking the behavior of the study drug in the human body on microdosing level. So practically we are give to the subject microdose of the study drug who cannot possibly have any therapeutical effect or any clinical effect, and we see what can do in the body. Well, I will tell you more about this on our next training, who is for the people interested to continue their career as clinical research associate. The training will be called Essential Theory Training and will be launched after the month of July in 2021. Okay, so with this, let's go to see phase by phase the classification of our clinical trials. And starting with phase 1, I can say, and for sure you realize that, is the first stage of testing new drug on human subject and include a low number of subjects. So on phase 1, we are doing research with 20 up to 100 healthy volunteers or subjects who can be patients also. As you can realize, the primary goal of these studies, of these phase 1 studies, is to assess the safety, the tolerability, but also pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic of a drug. Well, phase 1 studies are also subdivided into categories or 2 subclasses. Phase 1A with a single ascending dose and phase 1B with multiple ascending dose. What is the difference between them? It's very simple. On single ascending dose, the design of the study is the following. We give a certain dose to a group of subjects, then one single time. And after that, the researchers are stopped, evaluate from the safety point of view, and increase the dose which is administered to another group of study subjects. And this process continues until it's discovered the best safety dose by this method. Another method is used on phase 1B with multiple ascending dose. Well, here the first group of study subjects receive at least 2 doses, same concentration. So they receive 2, 3, 4, or 5 doses from the medicine. Then the researchers stop, evaluate from the safety point of view, and increase the dose with administered 2, 3, 4, or 5 times to another group of volunteers or study subjects who can be patients, as I mentioned. So these are the phase 1 studies with those 2 subcategories, phase 1, phase 1A and 1B. Well, now it's time to move to phase 2 study, who are designed to determine whether the drug have the expected effect or is doing his job as we desire as a doctor or as a patient. So, depending on the design, here we have also 2 categories of phase 2 trials, phase 2A and phase 2B. Phase 2A is named proof of concept and has the purpose to demonstrate the clinical efficacy, and phase 2B is even more important. They are known as dose finding studies that have the purpose to determine what is the best study drug with the highest clinical efficacy and the lowest side effects. So practically here we find the optimum study drug, where we can have higher clinical effect and lowest adverse events. Well, what we can tell about phase 2 trial that are performed in a larger group of population compared with phase 1. So in this stage of research, the number of subjects who are participating to phase 2 trials are from 100 up to 300 subjects. And design, as I mentioned, is to evaluate the clinical efficacy of the study drug. But the safety evaluation, it's also continuous on this stage too. So if we study the safety on phase 1, we study the safety also on phase 2. Okay, what is very important here, and I want to bring in your attention that if you take now one medicine for a certain illness, it's because this medicine pass from the second phase, this medical research. Why? I want to tell you that the rate of success that a molecule pass phase 2 studies is 1 to 5. So from 5 new drugs who are studies, who are on which are conducted clinical research, only 1 out of 5 is moving to the next step. So it's quite a lot of work to find, and not only work, also resources, financial and human, to find new drugs. So the next step on medical research is phase 3 studies. As I mentioned here in our board, phase 3 studies aim to confirm the therapeutical efficacy and the safe profile in a large number of patient population. And we are going from 300 up to 3,000 people, but 3,000 subjects, study subjects, but not limited to this number. I know clinical trials were conducted in more than 17,000 people. Even there, they are continuing. What is characteristic for phase 3 trials? Well, this kind of research have a complex design, are multicentric, randomized, double-blind or single-blind, are conducted in multiple sites on global level most of the time, and these create a lot of challenges. Well, what is not so pleasant about phase 3 trial that is the fact that are expensive and time-consuming. The good part is phase 3 trial, as I mentioned previously, represent the last step before submitting the drug to regulatory authorities for marketing approval. Practically, we submit the study drug file with the results of the research for marketing approvals. Well, phase 3 trials are no different in subcategories than phase 1 and phase 2. Also, they are divided into subcategories, phase 3A and phase 3B. If phase 3A studies are pure phase 3 studies who are also no pre-approval trials and have the aim to submit the results to regulatory authorities for marketing approval, well, phase 3B studies similar with 3A are performed during the approval period with the purpose to support with new result the approval process. The purpose of phase 3B studies is the following. In the first place is to collect additional information. For example, safety information or data regarding the quality of life. Also, here on this level, the purpose is to provide long-term data as extension trial for phase 3A studies. Well, phase 3B studies are also known as extension label. So they are used to obtain new study drug indication and approval. And I'll give you an example. If a pharmaceutical company obtain the approval in a certain indication, for example in an adult population, if they want to extend the indication of that study drug in the pediatric population, they need to do a phase 3B studies. Or another example to be more concludent, if we have a drug, a new medicine who is efficient in pulmonary cancer, in the lung cancer, and we want to see if have the same result in other type of cancer like breast cancer or gastrointestinal cancer and so on, we need to do a phase 3B study to see if we can have another indication and to extend the label. to extend the prescription which give it to the patient. Well, until now everything go well. So let's say we have a phase 1 for safety, phase 2 for efficacy, we go with phase 3, and finally we have the approval. Well, the work is not stopped here, because every pharmaceutical company and every sponsor of a trial want to study the long-term safety of his medicine. And for this, they are going to continue the research with phase 4 studies who are performed after the marketing approvals, and have some particularities, this kind of trials. Well, phase 4 trials present the following. First, as a name, are known as post-marketing studies. Then the scope is, or the purpose is, to collect long-term information regarding the risk, but also any potential new benefit from that drug. From the design perspective, can be observational or non-interventional trials, meaning that there are no biological tests performed there, but the sponsor may conduct very well structured phase 4 trial. Well, another characteristic of phase 4 need to be conducted for a minimum 2 years time frame under a strict design. So, what we can see on phase 4? Well, it's not like a flipper coin. We are not doing randomization. We are just doing objective observation on a large scale, on the global population, and it's the duty of any sponsor to collect this pharmacovigilance data. On the long term, we can see that the drug can have new adverse effects who can significantly harm the treated population, and in that case, the regulatory authorities can recommend various actions, from restrict the prescription area until the most severe, withdraw permanently and for good the marketing authorization. But also we can see that our medicine can have extraordinary effects positive effects in other kind of disease. And I will give you just an example with the aspirin. Well, aspirin, or acid acetyl salicylic, was known at the beginning as anti-inflammatory, as relief pain drug, or antithermic for high fever. Years of research show that aspirin is a very good protective for all cardiovascular patients, for patients who are in the risk to have a heart failure or a stroke. So this is just an example when the researcher noticed the effects of aspirin on people with cardiovascular risk. So with this, we cover this clinical trial classification. I hope you enjoyed this information and was a little bit different from the classical GCP training that I gave it to you in the last modules. I want to wish you good luck with the final assessment, and see you soon in our future trainings from Clinical Research Mentors. Thank you for being with us. Bye.